Hey there, welcome back to another episode of hashtag All Things Altered, hosted by Creating in the Waiting. This is my third video in the series, and what I'm doing is week one, I altered a tissue box to make this folio. Okay, and week two, I altered this playing card to make a little card for the spot. And now, week three, I have remaining box still of tissue that I want to use. I'm committed to use it all. And still my fragments and pieces and sentiments and matching things. And I'm going to throw them all together and I'm going to make a belly band. So the thought is the belly band will hold the folio, which holds the altered playing card. So if you'd like to see how I do that, keep watching. And don't forget, this is an open collab. You can join in at any time. Just record what you want to make and tag Arlene at Creating in the Waiting on YouTube. Check her out on her Facebook group too. That's Savage Art, Sell, Swap, and Share. And use hashtag All Things Altered. All right, enough talking, more crafting. See you in a bit. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to go through this one. I think we're going to do another talkie. I just want to make sure that the folio will fit in here. So let me check the dimensions. Okay, I just wanted to know where I needed to cut, if I was salvaging more pieces, if I could use them in the piece, or where I could do it. So I can cut just here and here and here and here. And if I glue down, I will have plenty of room still for the folio to come in and out. If I was worried, I could still cut along here. I mean, longer may be better. I know a lot of people don't exceed, usually that 8.5 in their journal. So, I mean, I'd like to give them the option. I don't have a bigger journal as of yet. This will use up all the pieces that I had. So I'd pass this on and have someone, zhuzh it up, as they say, or put some more into this, tuck little things in the nooks and crannies and, customize it to make it their own. So then they can tuck it into maybe their journal or something else. But I mean, I wouldn't rule that out. I mean, I could always make a journal as well, keep this series going and going. But in all honesty, the tissue box will be pretty much exhausted at this point. So, all right. So, you know what? Let me just do it. Better safe than sorry. I am going to cut all the way down, at least on the one side, and then give a little more room. And then here I will cut across right at the part here. I'm going to put that aside. I was so excited when I made the ATC piece. I only had one small scrap of wallpaper, and it literally, it's this big, and I could probably use it in this if I wanted to. So there's no waste whatsoever in that. All right, so I have this cut down. I don't think, I thought, oh, if I had two of those ends like that, I would leave this nice little fancy end, but I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do, so let me cut that off. Because it wouldn't look right if it was just on the one end. And I want to keep in mind that, the person who gets this will want to customize it to their own liking as well. All right, now we can do one of two things. We have this rough edge here and this rough edge here. A, we can cut it off, or B, we can keep it. We can put them back to back and then have them the same way. Or we can just cut it off entirely. I'm not thinking that it adds anything nice to the piece, so I'm going to glue it together. And I'm going to cut off this edge too. I'm not the best cutter in the world. Let's just go with that. So let me glue first and then cut. I'm just using Alien's Tacky from the dollar store. I have a big glue problem. If I was just making this for myself and I had a journal I was putting it in, it wouldn't bother me that the back was cardboard. I mean, you're not going to see it. And a lot of people are looking for ways to reduce bulk in their overall project. So certainly, if you're at this point in the game and you have your tissue box, you could just use the one side. You could make it, you know, put the two, glue the two onto each other and make a super long strip. But I'm of the mind that I'm just going to make this belly band, decorate it, not crazily, just decorate it, you know, minimally. And just give, you know, a sturdier piece that someone could love. So the other thing I loved about this pattern of box is that it really looks good from every angle. I have had hard times trying to decide which angle to put things at. All right, so I'm going to try to just line them up as much as I can, especially on this side because that's the serrated side. All right, let me dry this real quick and then I'll come back to cut it, because if I cut it while it's still wet, it's going to move around. I learned that from my last time, so I'll be right back. All right, so I am back and I am incorporating stronger scissors. Once upon a time from another life. They will have a slightly serrated edge, but nothing too crazy. I thought about maybe taking my serrated edge scissors and trying to do like a decorative side on the belly band, but I'm gonna decorate it, and then, you know, I don't know if that's gonna hinder sliding in and out of the folio, so I'm kind of maybe going against it. Plus my decorative cutting scissors are older than let's just say they're old. They're older than me, and I'm old. So I don't want to put that strain on them. I feel like I might break them. So now we have a really solid construction, and we can decide which side we think is the funnest and which way we like it. I like it that way, and not. So we have that piece here, and then I'm just going to decorate it. I mean, I know you don't have to technically a belly band, you know, belly band folio, and it, you know, I didn't put the card back in, but card back in there. I mean, things are sticking up all over the place, but there's enough room here to tack it down on either side. But I do want to give it something, but I don't want it to hinder sticking out. And I forgot, ugh, I wanted to run this between my two sides because I wanted it to be fluffy. What can I do instead? Well, I guess I could try to make, I'm not the world's best at it. I could try to make a ruffle and run it down the edge. Make a mini ruffle, maybe run it down the one side. I didn't have to run it down both sides. I was gonna sandwich it between the two. And I was going to have it stick out and then cut the crap out of it and then have it, guess we're making a ruffle. This is going to be a hand stitch ruffle because I am without sewing machine. All right, you did it to yourself. This is where the craft took you, and this is the last of the box. I don't have another box like this, so I can't even cheat if I want to. All right, we wanted it to be this way. And I'm gonna need a lot of this. I've only ever made ruffles by hand, maybe twice. So we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't look good, then yeah, we're not gonna use it, but let's see. All right, I'm gonna take and just fold. Honestly, I don't know how to make ruffles, because I think it's supposed to go out the front and the back. And if I sew, hand sew. I have to sneeze. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I didn't want to sneeze on you. All right, this is not how you do a ruffle. Everyone who knows how to do a ruffle is probably like cringing at this moment. I don't know. I went outside and I don't have allergies per se, but the pollen is screaming because we really haven't had much significant rain. This is going to be crazy. Does not look like a ruffle. Looks like a crazy bow tie, right? I do. I totally forget how to make a ruffle. I could always pull the layers apart and go with my original design. But do we want to make it pretty? A ruffle would be pretty. All right, let me just fold a couple more. And again, I don't know how to make a ruffle because I forget. So I'm just going to fold. It's just going to keep folding it up. And then as I sew it, I'm going to try to spread it out. All right, let me just get a needle and thread. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm going to thread the needle. I met this wonderful lady at the very beginning of my junk journal journey who gave me needles. I was making my first ever book with fancy stitching, and these needles, as you could see right there, or maybe you can't, kind of got dark out here. She gave me these self-threading needles and then the big needles that you need to go through thicker items like for signatures. So I am forever grateful to her for that. All right, so I'm just gonna tie a knot in this and we'll see if we can make a ruffle. We don't have anything to lose. If it doesn't work out, I have those, I have some bubble tea dyed paper here that I could ruffle. I have some book pages. I just tied this knot and it didn't knot the two together. I always double up my thread. My thread, again, is older than me. I don't know what I'll do when I run out of all the things I inherited. Everything is an upcycle around here. So I don't know. I did all this folding. I think maybe it's necessary. I don't even know where the bottom is. All right, so I'm just gonna, I don't know if you can see this or not. I do have a light and a light over here. I don't know if that's any better or not. All right, so I'm just gonna run it in through here and try to just collect my folds and see what happens. This is definitely not how I sewed one before. I mean, it can literally just be a fluffle ruffle. It doesn't have to be one of those, like, you know, professional ruffles. I'll tell you what, it's not going to be one of the professional ruffles. And I'm just running my needle through it right now just to see if I can create some interest and see how far. And I'm just going to fold it back and forth. Ouch, that was my finger. All right, let's see what happens. Ouch. When I pull through. All right. And I stretch it out. Well, that can be cute. Okay. All right. All right. Happy accident. All right. So I'm just going to keep going for a while. Keep going, keep going. Keep folding pieces in. If you hear something grumble, that is my stomach. Just kind of pulling pieces in. So I'm not doing one of those flat, like traditional ruffles, but it is ruffly. I'm just going to pull it through. Let's see where that gets us. All right, so if we start here, let's do this. We start here, and we run it up through here. That can be cute. All right, I like that. All right, I'm going to... got mixed up. All right, I am going to go cut this. with these scissors. Okay, and then I'm going to go in the back. And I'm just going to knot it a couple of times. Because we're only through it once. If I thought in a million years I could find where I went through and go through again, I would. But I don't think I could do that. All right, so that should be enough. All right, so we got this guy. And now let me just cut off the extra thread. Now I need to make the decision if I want to, where did it go? Oh, here it is. I still could take the 2 layers apart, right? And put it underneath. I plan to cut, this is just ridiculous. I don't plan to have it be that big. I could, actually, or do I like the ridiculous? I could put it on top and just glue it on. You can't see it if I do that. If I just glue it on, it'll be like a little thing. Then I would have to have something cover it too. Or I could sew it again on it. That's not impossible. All right, well, let's cut it. Let's see. Let's cut it to here. Okay. I'll save that for later. All right, we got this piece. Do we like it on just the side like that? Would we like it if it was between the 2 pieces? That's kind of what was my original plan. But if it's like that, just on the one side, because I feel like if it's between the 2 pieces, then you have this ruffle monster, and then you're trying to slip in your piece, and it's always going, well, if it's under like that, but if the 2 pieces are there, it would slide. Oh boy, what did you do to yourself? I'm assuming that the belly band would be up and down as opposed to sideways. Just to put this in correctly, but this could always go in this way too. It doesn't have to go in this way. This could be a belly band across. Not that that matters for the decoration as much. Well, they could put it whatever way they want to. I think I have to rip these 2 apart, right? And sandwich it. Oh, Terry. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do it. Hopefully the aliens isn't as strong as it looks. Otherwise, I'm a big, ooh, it is pretty on there. All right, what's plan E? Well, I always said the back of it didn't matter. I could take another piece of the box, or I could actually take the wallpaper. I could sew this on, right? All right, I'm going to sew it on, and then I don't know if I have enough string. If I sew this on the back of it, I might need to put some more pieces to be able to back it so that you can slide the thing through. Or do I want to sew it? That's going to make sew marks on the front of it. I am cuckoo, thank you. All right, let me Fabri-Tac it. Straighten it out a little. I'm gonna Fabri-Tac it. All right, was this the side I liked? This was the side I liked. All right. Nothing's lacking when you're Fabri-Tacking. All right, I'm gonna run the Fabri-Tac actually on my piece. And I'm going to use a generous amount of it because I really want it to stick. Recap it. All right, and I just want to make sure that that knot piece and this knot piece are in. I'm going to push that down. All right, I'm going to let this dry and I will be right back. Okay, we are mostly dry. Let me see if I can turn off my big light. No, I guess it kind of looks better for you guys. And there is the ruffle sticking out. It's kind of flat-ish. You know, hopefully the person doesn't have problems sliding something in and out. If so, I could, with the spare piece I have, when I'm done, there's a lot of Fabri-Tac on it. I could take the spare piece that I cut off from the bottom, cut it down smaller, and then the part where it will be rubbing, I can always tack that on the back just to make it a little bit firmer of a construction. Again, I'm bulking, and I know people typically don't like bulk, so that's just you know, a blank belly band. You could stop there, or you can embellish it further. My components from all the other pieces were this bubble dyed paper, pieces of the box, metallic paint, and wallpaper. So we have enough wallpaper. We could start, obviously not this big. We could cut these down. We could do 2 or 3. I usually like to do odd numbers, but we could do 2 or 3 little interest hubs here if these were smaller. So let me just kind of, you know what, I haven't done any happy cuts on here. Let me do a little cut of interest. Let me do diagonal, 2 diagonals, right? I can do one this way, and I can do one this way, and then I can have that one be straight across, and it doesn't need to have the edges. Or I could cut the edges onto one side or on both sides, but that's the base, so you're not going to see that much of it. I've made this flower, but the more and more I think of it, it really kind of clashes with the bubble dyed paper. I have this little piece of bubble dyed left. I have more. I bubble dyed this notebook piece. All right, so let's do that. I think these pieces are really fun. Let's grab that. There's something about the holes in the paper and then just the edges of the notebook that brings such a nostalgia to me. And I don't know, you know, if everyone else feels that way or what, but for me, it definitely brings home like a sense of nostalgia. I'm just kind of randomly ripping and putting pieces on just to see how they feel. Again, this one in here is kind of small. 3 might be totally overdoing it. You can't really see any of the actual tissue box, so I can incorporate some of that back in. Now this is awful thick too. Cut off those edges. I can rip. I haven't ripped much of it. Everything has been so precise. And we could always take the layers off here. Just take the skin which is always fun to do if you're concerned with bulk. Take that piece, run it along here, take this piece, and actually that actually gets rid of the cardboard too, so let me see if I can do that again. Now, sometimes they deconstruct well and sometimes they fight with you. I'm kind of just ripped apart in my hands. That one's a goner. All right, let me go on to get this one. This one I inked, but that's okay. Let's see if I can catch an edge. Catch an edge. Catch an edge. There we go. Right, and then, you know, just run my finger along here. Try to delicately remove cardboard from. Yay! All right, that one's good. No, they don't need to be huge pieces. And I already have like a straight edge there, so let me just do this. Just do maybe, every time I do that, I don't like, okay, all right, let's take this piece. We could do a peekaboo through there, or we could do it over. And take this piece we ripped off. That is my car clock. It does every hour on the hour. All right, now we need something of interest on here. I have, that's really sparkly. You got to remember, it's going to be really plain. So it's okay to use something that'll be a little wild. I think this is just maybe too big and bulky. But I do like buttons. Hey, make it bulkier and then that makes it better. I do like to put buttons in things. That is super cute. If the embellishments on the other two sides weren't so big. What else can I use? I had these guys that I used on another project. Maybe they can be used. Oh, I had this ticket that I wanted to use. That's right. But she is big. She's a big girl. But if I put her at an angle, if I do something like, I don't really want to cover her over because she's so pretty and she's so big. She covers everything else over. But I could do kind of like a spray coming out the top here and put her down the bottom. She's pretty. So big though. Or maybe do that here. Right, she could be the centerpiece, right? And these guys can sprig out. Nappy's there, and then maybe something simple like a button with thread. Maybe not necessarily this color. I don't think I have two of them. Oh, I do. Wait, hold on. Are these? Oh, I could do a button here and a button there. Well, that is cute. Do I need to pull anything else in? That is kind of this color paper, my bubble dies might look good as just maybe a little bit more fun interest. And maybe I can try not to get the words. I mean, the words do actually go with the, let's see what this looks like. I could remake this flower and stick it down, or just get these pieces like that. I don't want to cover that hole because I like the way the hole looks. Nothing. I like that. I think that looks super cute. All right, so to pull in the 2 pieces of paper, let me grab my black ink. And since the butterfly has black ink around the edges, I'm just going to do black, but just there, because I have a tendency to over ink. And I don't want to do that here. All right, this is not coming up very black. Let me start with this guy. He adds a little bit more. And then that being the only piece that's inked and being forward, that's really cool. I could put some thread into those buttons as well. I don't know that white thread is my answer. Oh, I don't want to cover that over. I don't know that white thread is my answer because we have a lot of white going on in this piece. I don't know if I want to do another color of green thread. That. Decisions. She is a chunky belly band. She could be a bookmark. You could just slap a backing on her and call her a bookmark if you wanted to. I don't know. What do you think? I wish this was alive. Do we add some thread just as interest? Where's my extra thread? Did I have some left in that needle? Oh, my needle's on the run. Hold on, let me look for the needle and play around with it, and I'll be right back. All right, I found my needle, and I'm thinking something crazy. I also found these, but I don't know if it needs it. I'm really liking the way that it is right now, and I don't want to overdo it. I thought maybe I would just run the needle through the whole piece and then thread it through, and then that way I don't have to do more glue. But if you want to just see what it'll look like with thread in it, let me just run it through real quick with white thread in it. I don't know, something about the needle with thread in it, I really like that idea. All right, so I am going to do that. I'm going to do the needle with thread. So let me see if I can get all the pieces down. Whoops. It would be nice now that I ran it through that way. All right, let me bring it back through the top. Okay, now let me see how many of these pieces I can go through. And then the thread will actually be a little bit more secure. Just gotta push it. I need a thimble. There we go. The double cardboard is super strong. Ouch, just poked myself. All right. And the other stuff is going to kind of wiggle off. So let me just lift it real quick and move it over here. And let me lift this real quick and move it over here. All right. So I'm out the back. You go back through the front. Next thimble. Find hole without thread. Come on. Right. And I don't need to go crazy. Just a couple of stitches would be fine. I'm going to go back through the back. Okay. All right, and let me just, that's pretty secure. All right, so I'm just going to do, you know, just a quick little stitch in the back. Just kind of knot it. Now that might be a little hard to see. Just so that it doesn't come undone. And I will, after I make a belly band, or sometimes I'll do a staple or something, what I like to do is I like to shake it And then that way, if anything, shake or pull at it a little bit. If anything comes undone, then I know that I need to do more. All right, so I don't have anything I'm going to sew onto that. So that one's obviously not going to be sewn, but that I will staple. So let me get my stapler. I'll be right back. All right, I have my stapler. And what I like to do for that is I will take and put the pieces down, right? Let me make sure I have everything kind of where I want it. Okay. All right, and take the pieces down, and then this guy is going to be on top, right? So let me pull that up a little more so you'll be able to see it. For that, you said you weren't going to add anything else, but you're crafting. Butterflies are so pretty. Everything's sticking out of the top. Nothing's sticking out of the bottom. That would look good there. All right, do you want a book page now? See, go down the rabbit hole. The more indecisive I get. Did you notice the lower my voice gets? I don't know what I did with all my rip pages. I certainly don't need the page. But I'm going to look for it. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to add another piece. Ink it. All right. I feel like there's not enough interest coming out of the bottom. And the butterfly is so big. It won't come out of the side. That. Let me see how that looks. You can only see a little piece. All right, that's okay. All right, so anyway, you take your stapler and you try to get a handle on everything. And then you go through. And then, you know, make sure you kind of got a hold on everything. I might do it on here too, because this is very, you know, it's not going to come off because it's sewn, but I'm going to, actually, why don't I just do it now? I'm going to run the staple in here. And then that's covered by the sewing, so that's okay. And then I'm going to take this guy here, and then I'm just going to glue them, right? Glue them this way, maybe this way. And then we have some pieces. That can go up, that can go down, wherever you want. All right, and then I'm just going to take my Fabri-Tac for a stronger bond. And I'm going to run it pretty big. See, now this piece of paper came undone. It wasn't all the way in. But it will be totally smushed between Fabri-Tac, so I'm not concerned about it too much. But I can lift it up after I put the butterfly. And then staple it down again. All right, so here's the butterfly. Maybe over. Yeah, so I'm not going to run a piece down here. I don't know if that's going to make it too thick for them. But, you know, I'll make sure to say something about, you know, hey, you might want to do that. All right, and then the last piece is here. I think we were kind of going this way, right? This way. And not there. And I'm just going to do myself a favor. I'm going to staple these. Everything but the top two, just to make it more secure. There's no reason not to. The button's going to cover it. It's not a big deal. But I still want thread in this button. Haphazardly, like, I don't know if you can see the bottom of it. You know, it's not perfect, you know, but that's that junk journal feel where you want you want it a little haphazard. Actually, I'm going to come through the bottom. And then pull it through. And now I'm going to go through the button. Hello, there we go. Through the button. And I'm going to go back down. Push. Pull. This needle is a trooper. It's a regular needle going through so much paper and cardboard. Much credit to this needle. All right. I mean, if I wanted to, like I could do a cross on this. Like this one here is straight and this one could be a cross to make it even more whimsical. Yeah, why don't we just do that? That'll be fun. So I'm just going to push it through again. See where it peeks out. Grab the button. And we'll do a crisscross. Ouch. And we'll poke ourselves. You know, when you use the glue gun, you have to burn yourself at least twice every time. So when you use a needle and thread, or maybe that's just me. All right, so now you kind of got a crisscross there. That's a little whimsical. I like that. So that's enough. I mean, it is stapled. It's not going to go anywhere. All right. And I'm going to do one knot. And 2 knots. Now, if it was me, and normal me, I would go crazy inking the living daylights out of this. I did ink the heck out of the other piece. Let me go grab it real quick. I did ink the heck out of this piece, both on the sides and underneath. I mean, you can't even tell that it's the same material. I don't think it would add to this. Plus, I don't know if the person really wants a grungy vibe. So they could just take this, add it to something else, not use it, right? So then, or, you know, it's on the back, so you really can't tell how dirty it is, right? You put this in the pocket, right? Okay. So then you kind of have your journal this way. So if this is the belly band and this is the journal, did I staple this? Yeah, I did. I'm going to glue that to make it not move so much. This is the belly band and this is the journal. Actually moving this in and out of it with this piece on there may not be optimal. Or I might have to tuck it further down in the pocket, or it could be cut down and then it would fit into here. It just about doesn't reach. But either this could be cut from here or it could be bent in a little bit and then it would fit that way. Doesn't necessarily go in the pocket that way, but yeah, I mean, it still goes in. So food for thought. I want the pieces to be cohesive and a trio, but they don't have to be exact. I like everything to be exactly the same. But I don't think if the person's vibe isn't very grungy and dark, I don't think that's going to be complimentary to them. But you could slip it out with that there. You can slip it out. All right. So this was piece 1, week 1. This was piece 2, week 2. This is piece 3, week 3. And I do want to do one more thing. So I have this glitter and I really like it. Even though it says it's hologram glitter, it really has like a green tint to it. So what I wanted to do, since it's a butterfly and I love butterflies, I wanted to kind of embellish the butterfly with the glitter across. And it's going to be really subtle, and it's not something that, you know, it's going to be, you know, make a big deal. But I really like the little pops of glitter here and there on projects. Actually, I have a black glitter that I'll use, and I'll use the black glitter to actually distress or add like a sand-like texture to a piece. So yeah, I thought this would be a little cute, maybe to add a little bit of excitement to our little guy here. And if I, like I said, me going crazy, I'd probably put it here, there, and everywhere in the whole 9 yards, but I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm going to dry this. There's my cuckoo clock, and then we're going to call it a day. So hold on, I'll be right back. Before I do that, I'm going to staple in here because let me see if I can run it in there. I just went to grab it again, and I know the button's going to slide back and forth, but I really don't want a lot of movement. I don't want them to think that the construction is going to come apart. I mean, I didn't tighten the button enough. That one's on like a little bit more secure. I can always run some glue also on there, and then it wouldn't move at all. But it definitely won't come apart. I mean, it's stapled twice and then it's glued, but all right, now I need to finish drying this. Blow dryer, be right back. All right, so that's the finished piece. I hope you can see the little glitter, but I know the person who receives it will, and they'll feel the love. That is all I have for now, and thank you so much for watching. Again, it's an open collab, Creative in the Waiting on YouTube, Savage Art, Junk Journal Self Swap, and Share on Facebook. Thank you, Arlene, for this open collab. It's been really fun. I think this is the last creation I'm going to make with my tissue box because this, and I don't know if I was cheating because I did another box at the time. I'm not even sure that this was with this original box because this was a small box. I think this is the only piece other than some offsets that I have from the tissue box. So I almost used it all. If I can think of something to do with this, I will bring it back for week 4. Maybe a bookmark, maybe a little tag. Aha, you never know. All right, happy creating, and I'll see you on the next one.